After I had our first baby, my husband's sister told him she's not strong enough to raise a kid without breaking down. I found the text. I printed it, framed it, and hung it above my desk. Then I used it as the tagline for my online coaching brand for new moms. 2 years later, when she tried to book me for a brand collaboration, I told her, "You already wrote my first headline." When I first got pregnant, I was scared, but not for the reasons most women are. I wasn't worried about the baby. I wasn't even worried about labor. I was scared because I didn't have a safety net. No friends nearby. No family around. No job I could rely on. We had just moved from Missoula, Montana to Spokane, Washington, so Dave, my husband, could take a job he said was too good to pass up. I gave up my clients and my comfort zone to support him. I was a freelance wellness coach, nutrition, stress, movement, that kind of stuff, but without my old community, I was starting from zero. Dave's family was local. I thought that would help. It didn't. Brooke, his sister, was the worst one. I'd never met someone who could insult you with a smile and make it sound like a compliment. That's her whole personality. She owns a clean beauty business, small time but growing, and acts like she's Oprah and Martha Stewart rolled into one. When we told her I was pregnant, she smiled and said, "You're glowing." Then 5 minutes later, she was warning Dave that he'd probably be on diaper duty 24/7 since I'd probably get overwhelmed fast. I laughed it off at the time, but something about it stuck. A few weeks later, I was on his phone trying to clear up storage. He kept complaining that he couldn't take pictures because he was out of space. I was going through his messages, deleting videos and long text chains. I opened the thread with his mom and sisters, not even looking for anything, just doing cleanup. That's when I saw it. A message from Brooke to Dave, sent about a week after we announced the pregnancy. "I know you're excited, but honestly, she's not strong enough to raise a kid without breaking down. She spirals too fast. Just be ready to pick up the pieces when she crashes." I stared at it for a long time. His other sister, Natalie, responded with 3 eye-roll emojis. His mom added, "She's sensitive." Dave didn't stand up for me. He didn't shut it down. He just said, "We'll see how it goes." That was worse than the insult. At least Brooke was honest. Dave was supposed to have my back. I didn't say anything that night. Or the next. I didn't yell or cry or storm out. I didn't even tell him I saw it. Instead, I screenshotted it. Printed it out. Then I went to Michael's, bought a cheap black frame, and hung it right above my desk. Right above it, I wrote, "She's not strong enough to raise a kid without breaking down." And below it, "Let's prove them wrong." That became my mission. Every day from that point on, I worked. I was pregnant, tired, sore, but I still showed up. I rebuilt my brand from scratch. I started an Instagram page just for new moms. I posted tips, encouragement, videos of me trying to cook while nauseous, crying in the car after doctor appointments, holding it together after a 3 a.m. panic attack. I didn't hide the hard parts. I showed all of it, and people responded. My DMs started filling up. Other women telling me they'd been told the same thing, too sensitive, too emotional, too weak to raise a kid. I started coaching again, late at night after dinner. I held Zoom sessions while bouncing on an exercise ball with a heating pad on my back. I ran workshops while holding a bottle in one hand and a whiteboard marker in the other. By the time my son was 6 months old, I had over 8,000 followers. At 1 year, I was at 20,000. I launched a free guide called Stronger Than They Think, and it went viral in mom groups. My website? The tagline at the top was simple: "You're stronger than they think." I knew exactly who I was talking to, and I knew exactly who gave me the fire to build it. 2 years in, I had a 6-figure coaching business. I had brands reaching out, speaking offers, podcast invites. And then, one day, I get an email from someone I didn't recognize. Subject line: "Collab opportunity. Brooke Lynn Beauty." The message was from Brooke's assistant. She wanted to partner on a motherhood resilience campaign. Said she admired my voice and thought our audiences aligned beautifully. She had no idea who I was. I replied with one line, "You already wrote my first headline." Not 5 minutes later, Brooke herself messaged me on Instagram. Wait, is this about that text? That text. That text had been my fuel for 2 years. I didn't respond. She messaged again. That was taken out of context. I was just worried about you. I didn't mean it like that. Sure. She kept going. It was 2 years ago. Come on. Let's move forward. We're family. She didn't know I had printed it, framed it, hung it like a damn mission statement. She didn't know I'd built every part of my brand on proving her wrong. And now she wanted in? No. What she did next told me everything I needed to know about her. She didn't stop at that rejection. She came back in a different way. And this time, she didn't just want to partner. She wanted to compete. And things got a lot messier than I expected. Brooke didn't take the rejection well. At first, she went quiet. I figured she was embarrassed. Good. Let her sit with it. Let her scroll past every post where I used her words as a badge of honor. I had moved on. Or at least I thought I had. But then, a few weeks later, one of my coaching clients messaged me, "Hey, did you see this?" Thought it looked weirdly familiar. She sent a link. Brooke had launched a new campaign on her site. It was called Mom Strong. Same font I used. Same soft beige and pink color scheme. Same exact message, just watered down. "You're stronger than they think" became "You're stronger than you believe." The page was full of tips for emotional resilience, morning routines, grounding exercises, my exact methods, copied almost word for word from one of my old PDFs. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. I clicked through everything. The new Mom Strong blog, the free downloads, the Instagram lives she'd started doing once a week, reading letters from moms and pretending like this had always been her thing. She even started tagging brands I had worked with. It was clear she wasn't trying to partner anymore. She was trying to replace me. I texted Dave. Sent him the links. His reply? "I don't want to be in the middle of this. You two need to work it out." I could have thrown my phone across the room. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This was theft. And not just business theft. She was taking the identity I'd fought like hell to build. Out of pain, out of spite, out of desperation, and turning it into a marketing gimmick. I spent the night digging. Turns out, she had signed up for my free email series. She'd been in my Facebook group under a different name. A burner account. Mom Life 333. I found comments she'd left months ago. Basic questions. Nothing that stood out. But she was in there. Watching. She'd been studying me this whole time. The next morning, I called a friend of mine, Jess, who's a small business lawyer. We talked for 2 hours. She was fired up. Said I had a solid case for copyright infringement on the content, maybe even trademark issues if I could prove the tagline was being used first. But that's not the route I took. Not yet. I wasn't ready to fight her with lawyers. I wanted to hurt her the same way she tried to hurt me publicly and with her own words. So I got to work. I took screenshots. Her campaign. My original posts. Dates. Comments. I laid it all out in a clean, brutal post on my page. Sometimes your biggest critic becomes your biggest fan. And sometimes they copy your entire business while pretending they invented it. I posted the original frame text. I told the full story. No names. No direct accusations. But everyone knew. And then, the messages started pouring in. Some from followers. Some from her followers. Some from mutual brand partners who had no idea what she'd done. Even one from a local mom podcast host who said she'd booked Brooke for an interview and was now having second thoughts. I thought she'd back off. But instead, Brooke fired back. Hard. She posted a long, teary-eyed video. Said she was being bullied. Said some people can't stand to see other women win. claimed she was inspired by the resilience she saw in the motherhood space and just wanted to amplify those voices. She played the victim card. And people bought it. Her followers doubled in a week. She started a new support group for moms building moms up. Then I got the email from one of our old college friends, someone I hadn't spoken to in years. It just said, "Brooke's been telling people she helped you start your business, that she came up with your tagline. You might want to get ahead of this." And just like that, the game changed again. She wasn't just copying me. She was trying to rewrite the whole story. And I wasn't going to let her. I didn't sleep that night. I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, heart pounding, thinking of every way this could spiral out of control. I'd worked so damn hard to build something real, from nothing, from her words. And now she was walking around telling people she helped me start it? I opened my laptop at 2 a.m. and started documenting everything. Every old post. Every timestamp. Every newsletter. I had receipts going back 2 years. All the proof I needed that my brand, my message, and my work was mine and mine alone. But facts don't always matter when someone's spreading lies with a pretty face and a soft voice. The next morning, I started getting messages from people I knew. Mutual friends, old coworkers from Missoula, even one of my early clients. "Hey, I heard Brooke was part of your original team. Wasn't she one of your first brand partners? I didn't know you and Brooke built the business together. That's so cool." I wanted to scream. She was poisoning the well, slow and steady, with a fake version of history where she was the reason I was successful. Where I had just been a mess of a new mom, and she, gracious, wise, supportive Brooke, had taken me under her wing. She was rewriting me out of my own story. I went on Instagram Live. I didn't cry. I didn't yell. I spoke clearly and calmly, just like I do when I'm coaching scared new moms through the fog of early motherhood. "I want to talk about something that's been happening behind the scenes," I said. "Something that's deeply personal. And something I never thought I'd have to address this way." Then I laid it out. No names. No drama. Just facts. I showed the screenshot of her original message to Dave, the framed copy above my desk, the date I launched my blog, the newsletter I sent out with the exact tagline, 6 months before Brooke started her Mom Strong campaign. I talked about the pain of being told I wasn't strong enough, how it almost broke me, how I used that pain to build something that would help other moms feel seen and supported, and how the same person who sent that message was now telling people she helped me start my business. I ended it simply: you don't get to light someone on fire and then take credit when they rise from the ashes. The response was huge. Thousands of comments, hundreds of shares, DMs from women telling me their own stories of being gaslit, manipulated, minimized by family. The truth hit because it was real. But Brooke wasn't done. The next day, she released a statement on her page. Said she apologized privately for the past she didn't and accused me of turning a family misunderstanding into a public smear campaign. She posted screenshots, but they were cropped, out of context. She twisted everything. And then she dropped a bomb. She announced she was launching a book. Title: Stronger Than You Know, My Journey Through Motherhood and Mentorship. The tagline on the cover: "You're stronger than they think." She was trying to trademark my tagline. I saw red. This wasn't personal anymore. This was war. I called Jess, my lawyer friend. "I want to sue her," I said. Hard. Jess didn't even hesitate. "Good," she said. "Because I've already started the paperwork." Jess worked fast. Within a week, she sent Brooke's team a formal cease and desist. It outlined everything: my copyright claims on the tagline, the plagiarism of my written content, the false claims of partnership, and her attempted trademark filing. We included side-by-side comparisons, dates, screenshots, a full legal packet. But Brooke didn't flinch. Instead, she lawyered up. I got a response from her attorney, a polished, Snide letter that said their client vehemently denied all allegations and that her use of similar language was coincidental, born from common motherhood themes and universal struggles. Bullshit. Worse, her lawyer accused me of harassment. Said I was using my platform to defame and damage a small business owner's reputation. Said I had incited targeted online attacks. They were trying to flip the narrative again. Make me the bully. I felt sick. Then things got uglier. A few of my followers, angry on my behalf, started leaving negative reviews on her business pages. I never asked them to. I even made a post asking people to stay respectful. But the damage was done. Brooke posted a tearful video again. But this time, she said she was being cyberbullied by a former friend who's jealous of her success. She showed screenshots of my followers' comments as proof of harassment. She blurred names, but it was obvious where they came from. She was trying to position herself as the underdog again. And then she made the move I never saw coming. She filed a counter-complaint against me, claimed that I had stolen the tagline from her, that she had been using "you're stronger than they think" in private coaching circles since before I ever got pregnant, claimed she had emails proving she brainstormed it first. I couldn't believe it. I was the one with the framed text, the blog posts, the email campaigns, but she had one thing I didn't expect: access. Because back when I was just starting out, when I was pregnant and desperate for help, I had stupidly shared ideas with her. One night, before I knew what kind of person she really was, I sent her a long message. I told her I wanted to build something for moms like me. I asked for feedback on names. I even floated the tagline in an early draft: "They think we're weak. Let's show them how strong we really are." She never replied. And now she was twisting that into a claim that she'd inspired my brand. She was trying to bury me in legal sludge. Drag it out. Bleed me dry. But here's where the twist comes in. One of my earliest clients, Jamie, reached out. She'd been with me from day one. Took my first coaching program. Got her life together while working 2 jobs and raising twins. She was the reason I kept going when I felt like giving up. Turns out, Jamie worked in digital forensics. Quiet, behind-the-scenes kind of tech stuff. She sent me a message. "Do you still have the original Canva drafts? The first blog post? Email timestamps." I did. She helped me put together a forensic timeline, metadata, edit history, file creation dates. Hard proof that my content existed long before Brooke's campaign. And then Jamie dropped a bomb of her own. She had screenshots from the burner account Brooke used in my Facebook group, private messages Brooke had sent to other group members, asking questions that lined up exactly with my coaching frameworks. Brooke had been harvesting content, quietly, for months. I turned it all over to Jess. We were ready to escalate. But right when we were gearing up to hit Brooke with the full legal firestorm, something happened that made the whole situation 10 times more personal. Dave, my husband, sat me down. "I need to tell you something," he said. He looked pale, nervous, like he was about to confess to a crime. He was. "I knew she was watching your stuff. I didn't think it would go this far. But I didn't stop it, because," he hesitated, "because she said she was going to help you get exposure. She promised me she'd bring you into her brand once she grew it. Said it'd be better if people thought it came from her first, so it would seem more credible." My heart stopped. He let her steal from me. He let her. "I thought I was protecting you," he said. He wasn't. He was protecting her. And just like that, the betrayal wasn't just professional anymore. It was personal, deeper than I ever imagined. And now I had 2 people to deal with: my sister-in-law and my husband. I stared at Dave. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I didn't even move. I just sat there and looked at the man I'd shared a life with, the man I'd carried a child with, and realized I didn't know him at all. "You let her lie about me," I said. His voice cracked. "I thought it would help. She said she'd make room for you in her company once it took off. I didn't think she'd take everything. I stood up, walked into the office, grabbed the frame, the one with her text, the one that had kept me going when I felt like I couldn't do it anymore, and I brought it back into the room. "Read it," I said. He looked down. "She's not strong enough to raise a kid without breaking down." I held it up to his face. "You knew she said that. And you still let her twist the knife." He didn't respond. "Get out," I said. "Go stay with your sister, since you're both so good at looking out for each other." He left. Just like that. No fight. No apology. Just silence. And the next morning, I went to war. Jess filed the full suit. Copyright, brand infringement, defamation, and, thanks to Jamie's digital trail, misuse of protected materials from a private coaching group. We had records, screenshots, timestamps. We had everything. Brooke tried to fight back, but the evidence was too clear. Her fake timeline, her forged early drafts, her attempt to trademark my tagline, all of it collapsed under the weight of real proof. She started losing brand partners. Fast. Two of the biggest ones issued public statements saying they were reviewing their partnerships. A podcast removed her episode. Her Mom Strong group started shrinking overnight. Then the best part happened. A mom-focused media site picked up the story. They'd seen my live, dug into both sides, and ran a full piece titled, "The Coach Who Turned an Insult into a Movement and the Family That Tried to Erase Her." They didn't name Brooke. They didn't have to. Everyone knew. Her book deal? Dropped. Her lawyer? Quit. And then, when I thought it was over, one last twist. I got an anonymous package in the mail. No return address. Inside was a printed copy of an email Brooke had written to a friend. The friend had forwarded it, probably one of hers who couldn't watch the train wreck anymore. In it, Brooke said, "I didn't think it would blow up like this." She was nothing when I said that stuff. Just another wannabe coach. I figured if I cleaned up the message, I could sell it better. "She's too raw. Too emotional. Not marketable." That was her whole problem with me. She thought I wasn't polished enough. Not perfect enough. Not fake enough. So she tried to become me, just without the pain, without the sweat, without the story. But people saw through it. They always do, eventually. 2 months later, I finalized the legal win. She couldn't use my content. She couldn't touch my tagline. And she owed damages. Not much, just enough to sting. Just enough to remember. I updated my site. Right at the top, under "You're Stronger Than They Think," I added, "I was told I'd break." Instead, I built. And when they came for what I made, I stood. As for Dave, we're not together anymore. I didn't make a big deal out of it. No long posts. No public call-out. I just let him walk. He tried to come back once. Sent an email saying he missed how strong I was and that he regretted everything. I didn't reply. I printed it, framed it, hung it next to the first one. Because some people give you love, and some people give you fire. Either way, I'll use it. Every damn time.